boys and girls. Emily and I were missing you so much, we decided we'd get together and see if we could talk to you for a few minutes. And we are leaving space in between, so we're not getting into trouble. So, anyway, we've missed you, and we were thinking there was a story that we were going to do, and then we weren't in Sunday school. So, there's a story about Jesus and feeding 5,000 people. Imagine 5,000 people.
A lot.
And all they had, there was no food. Why didn't they go to the grocery store? Was there a grocery store?
They did not have a grocery store.
No places for takeout to order food.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like that. So Jesus said, we'll read the story and find out, but he looked for some way to feed them. So I'm going to read the story and let's see how he managed to feed 5,000 people. Okay. Jesus and his disciples were very tired. They needed a quiet place to rest. So they got into a boat and pushed off from the shore. And a crowd started following the boat. Over 5,000 people, Emily, 5,000 people had come to see Jesus. And even though he was tired, Jesus wanted to help them. He climbed out of the boat and he began to bless and heal many people. Now, later that day, the disciples said to Jesus, there was a problem. They didn't know what to do. They said, it's getting late and these people need to go home and eat dinner. But then you know what Jesus said? He said, we can feed them. See if anyone has any food to share. Now remember, there's 5,000. They don't have any food. Now the disciples found one little boy, and he had 5 loaves of bread and 2 small dried fish. And Jesus said, bring that boy to me. And then the disciples asked him, he said, how in the world will you feed this many people with 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread? And Jesus said, we'll see. Have the people sit down. So Jesus took the bread and he said a prayer. He said, thank you, God, for this bread. And his disciples gave bread and fish to everyone. And were they surprised? Because all of a sudden there was so much food that after they fed the 5,000, there were 12 baskets of food left over that they could share with people who needed food. And that's the end of the story. So, do you think we could do that?
Feed 5,000 people?
Think we could feed 5,000 people?
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. Yeah. Well, you know, this in the last Sunday of this month, our church is going to feed people at Horizons for the soup kitchen, and they have to come up with a way to feed them. Do you think there's any way that maybe the kids in our Sunday school class could do something to help with that?
I bet they could. Maybe they could raise some money.
Maybe they could. How could they do that?
Well, let's have a challenge. Let's challenge them.
Okay, you guys ready for a challenge? Do you think you can help us raise some of the money to feed those people?
I think they can do it.
I think they could too. If they really want to, and I think they will.
I think so.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, now he had 2 fish.
Yeah.
Will 2 fish feed everybody?
No, I don't think so. We can't do what Jesus did.
No, I don't think we can do that. But would you guys be interested? Do you think maybe you could make some fish? You know, I've seen some of you. You're pretty good artists.
They're creative.
You could make any kind of fish you wanted. You could make big. We've got some big fish to show you here. Look,
maybe you could make a fish like this.
That's a clownfish.
Orange and white stripes. Yeah. Or
there's all different kinds.
Look at this pretty one. It's like a rainbow.
That's from the coral reef.
Oh,
that's a coral reef.
Very pretty. And we've got little fish.
Some of our fish are really good.
Here's 2 little fish.
Here's some skinny fish there are fat fish and skinny fish and
Here's, look
all.
at that one. Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right. So you think that they could make some fish themselves?
I think they could if they want to. If their
Okay.
moms and dads and their family doesn't care.
Okay. So they could make some fish, but how would those fish feed the people?
Well, I guess the paper fish wouldn't really feed them. So what could we do with that?
How about you guys make some fish, and maybe your mom and your dad can make some fish, or your brother or your sister, and for every fish that you make, we will donate 25 cents to Horizons. How about that?
So if we only get a few fish, but if we get lots of fish, we could donate enough money that could really help feed the people at Horizons. You think you could do that? You want to try?
Yeah.
I hope you will. Well, you know what? Let's see how many fish you can make. I bet we could just. This is a fish net. This is a fish net right here. And that catches lots of fish. So I bet we could fill this fish net a lot of times. And we've got just a blue bowl, 3 little blue bowls here that we could set under the fish net. And where would we put it, Emily?
We could put it at the back door of the church. And when you made all your fish, how many of your fish you want to make, you could go to church and put your fish in the bucket. And then at the end of this week, we will see how many fish that we've caught. And we will donate that money to Horizons.
Well, what about next week? Are we going to keep trying?
Well, we could.
Yeah, maybe we could keep going all the way until the end of the month when they're going to be our church is going to be feeding the people at Horizon.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll see how many you make this week, and then we'll report back. We'll give you another video, and we'll keep challenging you to make more.
That's great. They're going to keep us busy just counting all these fish.
That's true. I hope so.
And I bet they can be little fish, or they can be big fish, or they can be fat fish, or skinny fish, any kind of. You can make them out of anything that you want, out of newspaper, out of paper, out of anything.
Cardboard.
Yeah,
Maybe they
cardboard.
could paint
Buttons, you paint them. You could
Yeah.
make all kinds of fish. Some of you are very creative. So we would like to try that because we'd love to see you. We'd love to see the fish. And I think we could. Jesus, remember what we've been doing at Sunday school. Remember, Jesus told us to love one another and to do kind things for our neighbors. So if we would do this and we raise money for Horizons, we would really make Jesus happy. Don't you think? Okay. All right.
Good. We miss you guys.
Yes, we do.
We hope to see you soon.
Yeah, we hope so. It seems very strange